Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Chris, your sneaker professor. If you missed this week, I was on CNBC and I had a chance to talk sneakers. It was fantastic. I'll show you that at the end of this video. We got the counter running. Don't want to keep you too long. Here are the things that I wrote about this week on the site that you probably missed. So make sure you go over to the site in the description. All of these articles will be there. You can click through and check it out. And I'm pretty sure the first one, if you're a person that's trying to get into resale, and I've done this chart before, but what I did this time that's a little bit different is I'm giving you sneakers to sell on Amazon. I want you to be a business person versus just someone trying to flip shoes. So I'm giving you the list of the products that are in demand on Amazon that you can make money on, and you'll be able to sell for at least 3 or 4 months because there are a lot of them selling. So here's the list, and it tells you, and you can go down to the description down here in the description, and you can click through. And if you want to buy this list, there's over 196 products on the list that you can buy, and you can download the full report. It's right there. You guys see what I'm pointing at? And amazingly enough, the shoes that you think are doing really well are not the shoes that are doing really well. You can go and find a few on running men's Cloud X. You look down here, $188 a pair. And there are like, I think 150 in size 12 that are ready to sell. Not necessarily ready to sell. You have to hold them for a little while. It's not like being on StockX, but if you're on Amazon, this is a great shoe to pick up for right now. Size 12 men's on running. And it just kind of goes from there. It's wild. So the chart, when you look at this and the numbers that are on the side, just making sure I say this, those numbers are telling you the projection of the forecast of how many are going to sell in the next 3 months in that size. But you can download the whole thing, click on it, go to it. It's not free, so don't think it's free, but it's ready for you to download. Next story is Stephen Vasilev, who is the co-founder of Artifact, which is the company that Nike acquired. They announced this week that they are going to do in real life shoes, and those shoes are going to have WM chips. So I talked about that in this article. You can click through and read it, but there's a really interesting thing that this ties into that I hit up Sneaker Fetish and said, hey, this is really interesting, and maybe something comes out of it later, but the Kool Kiy lawsuit, right? The Armour and a Hellcat and Kool Kiy lawsuit that Nike has hit these guys with, it's a really interesting thing to find. And if you guys don't know, my article from a year ago is featured in Nike's lawsuit. I had no idea. They told me about it. Cool, whatever. But check this out. This is the Artifact logo. You see my mouse moving around this lightning bolt? This is the Kool Kiy trademark. And here is what's interesting. The session has expired. I'm going to have to go back and find it again. I wish it wouldn't have done the error, but because it's giving us an error, we can't look at it right now. Let's see if I have this other session. Dang. So I'm going to have to go back and redo the trademark again and look for it. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to do this in real time. Trademarks. I'm looking for word or design. Mark freeform, and I'm going here to type in Kiy and submit query, and I have Kiy here, and boom, you see what I was about to say here is that the lightning bolt here, if Nike is suing Kiy because of his design and knockoff of the Air Jordan 1, could he turn the tables and actually sue them for the knockoff of the lightning bolt, which he controls the trademark for? Something to think about, and that's just a really interesting topic that I wrote about. You can go to the website and read that if you're interested, and I'm going to do a quick search on Artifact so you can see that if you go through all of these on the list, you will not see any lightning bolt or word mark, and that could be problematic for Nike. Not saying it will be, but it's something to think about. So that's the other story. You may have missed this story. Deion is leaving Jackson State, and he's going to the University of Colorado. I wrote an article about this, not because it's trendy or anything else, but to establish that Under Armour is Deion's brand of choice. He left Nike. And if you remember, the Diamond Turf is Deion Sanders' shoe. It sells really well every time it's retroed. Under Armour had a chance to do something special because they were sponsoring Jackson State. Over the last 3 years of Deion being in Mississippi and Jackson State, I'm at Memphis. We didn't see anything from Under Armour in 3 years. Under Armour has been trying to figure out how to capture the black consumer, and they had the perfect opportunity to do so in Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Nashville with the Southern Heritage Classic, and Under Armour did nothing. And it shows a really poor lack of judgment on behalf of the Under Armour brand, that they missed out, because now Coach Prime is at the University of Colorado, which is one of Nike's flagship college programs. He's going to have to wear the swoosh again. Really bad decision on Under Armour's part. Over here, let's go to the last article that I wrote, and that is on Rares. Have you guys ever heard of Rares? If you're shaking your head, yes, you know more than me. I had heard about it a year ago, and then I didn't think about it again until I got invited onto CNBC to talk sneakers. So when I was invited on, it reminded me that Rares existed. And if you've never been to the site, you can buy a share of certain shoes. And if you're not in the stock market and you don't understand how an IPO works and buying shares, basically what you're doing is, if there's a pair of like Kobe's, you see this Jordan, if you look to my side, the Air Jordan 3 Kobe, if that shoe is valued at $20,000, then they're going to split up those shares so you can purchase it, and then people will be able to buy shares from you, and it'll be exactly like the stock market, but you will own a piece of that shoe. Now, in this summit that was held for financial advisors, we were supposed to talk about resale. And I talk about resale, but I talk about it from a level perspective where you can generate revenue. I don't talk about it from a buy and hold investment point of view. But the interesting thing is, the guy that I was on with, he probably does about $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I use resale as research, and I'm at about 700 to $1 million. As a matter of fact, if you want to see something wild, here is my StockX account, and it's at $3 million. $3 million. And that's because I buy a lot of different stuff. Even if I'm not making a lot on it, I don't care, because it's research. That's what allows me to write these articles and give these people reports on what's happening at the retail stores. But my whole point in bringing up Rares is that the platform allows you to invest in shoes. But I think they should add an aspect, or somebody out there, one of you guys who are really good at tech, you should build a platform that allows people to invest in verified sellers, a person who is capable of getting the shoes and acquiring them, and it takes the risk completely off of you if you're going to try and invest in sneakers. It's a completely different concept. It's something to think about. I want you guys to think about it. I said that I was going to do some giveaways. Give me 1 second. If I can get to 10,000 subscribers in the next week, and that means you're going to, if you watched all the way to this point, if I can get to 10,000 subscribers in the next week, I'm going to give away this shoe. 1 second. All right, so this is what, at 10,000, I'm going to give away. It's a size 10.5, and it's ready to ship now. So I was gifted a couple of pairs. I'm not selling them. I was authenticating them for someone, and they wanted to make sure they were good. And they were like, Chris, if you authenticate all of these for us, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. So you can see that the tags are ripped on them, because I ripped the tags to make sure the chip was underneath it so I could check the UPCs and the UPCs on the shoes. But there's nothing I can do with them. It's not my size. But I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can get my subscribers up on YouTube and do what everybody else does. Even though this is more of a business station, but it is the Air Jordan 3 Retro Reimagined. It's yours if my subscriber count gets to 10,000. But don't subscribe if you don't like good information. If you like good information and you want to be educated on the sneaker industry, hit me up and I got you and I can help you out. And I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff as far as jobs are concerned. But all of the articles in this week's update, over here to the side in the description, you can click on it. If I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll go back and figure out which person was the 10,000, and that person is going to win that shoe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.